Anyway, bottom line, um, I signed up for this program, and they walked me through, getting a whole bunch of credit, paying them a shit ton of money, buying inventory to, throw up on Amazon, and then guess what? A year and a half later, I haven't sold a damn thing. I haven't even launched yet, you know. And in fairness, a lot of that is my fault. Partly it was my own sheer laziness. It's like, and again, I'm one of those really, really smart, lazy people. Like, if you're familiar with the Myers-Briggs test, my Myers-Briggs is INTP, which means I like they call it the logician. It's like I do all this stuff in my head, but then have a hard time like actually making it real. Totally my life story. Um, but anyway, so part of it was my own fault, just pure laziness. Part of it was just I had a lot of other stuff going on. I'm in college, like give me a break. It's like over the summer, over the winter break, I've got time. Once classes start, it's like all my hobbies go right out the window. And then like even this stuff, it's like starting a business. I paid $25,000 for lessons on how to do this. I paid another 8,000 for inventory and another like 2,000 or so for other stuff on top of that. I'm in debt, 30, $40,000 here. You think I'd make it a priority? Life doesn't work like that, unfortunately. Like lesson number one for you there: don't think that you're going to be like, oh my God, I'm going to put my back to a wall and it's going to work magically. For some people that works. For me, it didn't. I had my back to a wall, and apparently I didn't realize it because I never really did it. But anyway, so that's part of it. I was lazy, I was busy, whatever. But another part of it is that this this business training thing that I was going through, where they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna literally hold your hand and like walk you through the entire thing. I paid $25,000 for this. I didn't get shit out of it. Like literally, it did nothing for me. Um, which brings us to where we are now. Anyway, so that's my story. And again, I had friends who actually I made at the 3-day event who, I made a couple of friends, one of which I'm still really good friends with, who didn't sign up for the program. He was like the only smart one, and he's actually the one who got me into what I'm doing now, which is working much better. But again, we'll talk about that at some later point. But anyway, yeah, two of these friends who I made, they did the exact same thing I did. They paid for this program. They actually paid with it from some of their savings. They had a little company that they've been, it's like a designer, like an interior design company or whatever. But they had some money, some savings. They paid for it that way, and they did the whole Amazon thing just like I did. And they went out there and they didn't get so smarty about it like I did. They weren't trying to make their own thing. They were trying to do the literal, let's find something on there, let's find something on Alibaba, let's throw it up on Amazon, see if it sells. They got completely burnt out. Like both like effort wise, like they got like burnt out, like, oh my God, I'm tired of doing this, and just completely like burned up, screwed over royally cash wise. Um, they paid the money to this company. They, got taught how to do this thing. They spent, I don't know, not that much. They spent a couple $1,000s on inventory or something. I think like they ended up finding like this little lantern or something they were trying to throw up on Amazon and some other little thing. But anyway, they actually threw it up. They launched, didn't sell anything. They might have sold one or two, but they weren't making like any kind of money. So they had all this inventory sitting around. They had a bunch of money down the drain. And after about 6 months of that, I think we signed up in mid-January. I think it was about July. They decided they wanted their money back. They got completely fed up with this company. They were like, oh my God, you know what? This company promised us the moon, didn't give us anything. Here we are 6 months later, not making a damn penny. Well, maybe a penny, but not, certainly not much. And so anyway, they went to try and get their money back, and this company basically just gave them the finger. And again, which is kind of funny because one of the very first things I learned, when I was going through this, not even at the 3-day event, but the little 1-day event to get to the 3-day event, where I first gave them my credit card number and like, oh yeah, sign me up for the 3-day event. One of the first things they talked about was asset protection, and they talked about, hey, there are ways you can set up your company so if somebody comes and tries to sue you or tries to get their money back, guess what? There's nothing they can do. Like literally, you've got a wall there. They can't get anything from you. And at the time I thought, oh wow, that's really, really cool. You can protect yourself. Well, guess what? When you're on the other side of it, that really freaking sucks. So, they went to this company and they're like, we want our money back. And this company basically told them, well, sorry, the contract that you signed doesn't mention anything about a refund. which is really funny because the entire 3 day workshop, that was one of the things they were telling us the entire time. They're like, oh yeah, basically the way this program works, you've got 6 months to triple what you pay for this. They had like their 3 times your money back guarantee or whatever they called it. The idea was, whatever you pay for this thing, you're going to make 3 times that in the next 6 months, or we're going to give you your money back. And so we're all thinking, oh wow, this sounds really great. You can't lose. Well, guess what? Apparently that wasn't in the actual contract. And there really isn't. There is no fine print on that. I actually have a little piece of paper that mentions a money back guarantee, but there is no real fine print. And apparently they gave him the same piece of paper and they gave him the runaround anyway. And what they ended up doing is they told my friends, yeah, that money, that triple your money guarantee, that was for the $2,000 for this 3 day event, not for the $25,000 you spent for this mentorship program, which is bullshit. Like, oh my God, like talk about screwing somebody over there. So anyway, they couldn't get their money back. They got the $2,000 back for the 3 day event, which personally I thought was kind of silly because I actually liked the 3 day event. I thought they actually taught us some useful stuff, like at least conceptually, not anything you could really like do anything with, but stuff that it's like, well, yeah, this is good stuff to be aware about. I was actually happy with what I learned at the 3 day event. I'd actually like to keep that, 2,000 and get the rest back. But anyway, so they gave them back their $2,000, wouldn't give them back their $25,000. So now I haven't talked to them recently. I don't know what they're doing now, but last I heard, my friends were still completely in the hole. They were screwed over by this company. They basically just, said, fuck it, we're going to go back. They were trying to sue them for a while. Apparently that never got anywhere either. But that is the story. I got burnt over by this company. Like, I never even got to launch, which again, partly my fault. And we're going to go into like all the other stuff I learned with stuff like that. But a lot of it is there are companies out here like this company X that, maybe hopefully someday I can tell you what the name is because it's whatever. But yeah, anyway, so there are companies out there like this company X that are finding people like me who are like, I really want to get into this whole business thing. I want to learn how to make money, and they're finding people and being predators. They're going to them and say, hey, pay us a lot of money in credit for one. Like God, talk about a way to screw somebody over, and we're gonna teach you how to start this amazing business. Or if you're already in business, we're gonna teach you how to take your little business that's not doing very well and turn it into like the next. I don't know about the next Amazon, but like the next, the next little $30 million a year business in your town or whatever, but, so they're screwing people over, and it's really not cool. And that was kind of like why I originally started doing this podcast, because I started looking at, well, how do I get my money back? I can see my friends just got fucked over. I'm sitting here 9 months later, not even able to launch yet. And I'm like, well, you know what? Apparently this was a really bad idea. Which anyway, I started looking at that, and when it became obvious I wasn't going to get my money back, like I never even asked them for it, for 2 reasons. Firstly, because like their little money back guarantee, their whole triple your thing or whatever guarantee, the only bit of fine print in that says that you can't ask for your money back until you've run 25 ad campaigns, which firstly is not very specific. It's like, okay, what is an ad campaign? But you got to remember, I haven't even launched yet. Like literally, it's been a year and I have not launched. I haven't run a single ad campaign because it's like, I've got nothing to run an ad for, It's like this company that promised me they were going to walk me through this and hold my hand. A year later, I don't even have my business. Well, like finally I do, whatever. But like 9 months ago when I was, kind of wanted to get my money back, it's like I didn't even have anything launched. I couldn't run an ad campaign. Like what the hell am I going to do, So I was thinking, well, okay, you know what? I'll finally get it launched. I'll run my ad campaigns, and then I'll go back and say, hey, I want my money back, assholes. Anyway, I was starting to look at that and, looking at my friend getting screwed over here and not getting their money back. And I was thinking, well, what can I do, to kind of get back at this company a little bit, And at first I was thinking, well, I know I can go find a site and write a really bad review. Ooh, yeah, that's going to work, And then it's like, well, that's a cool idea, except that, who knows? I couldn't find any bad reviews for this company when I was looking them up. Maybe they've got some way of like, putting pressure on people and saying, hey, drop that review, or going to websites saying, hey, we'll pay you a lot of money to take that review down. I don't know, whatever. But the other thing that occurred to me is, well, that's not going to make me any money. If I just write a bad review, I'm still stuck in the hole for, a lot of money. I'm actually going to show you how much I'm in debt right now and what might happen to my credit in this last year for that in a moment. And sorry this podcast is going so long. I don't intend all of them to be this way. I actually intended this to be like a 15, 20-minute thing. And look, it's actually like 52 minutes right now. So maybe I'll actually break these up into like a couple little videos for this first one. This is supposed to be the pilot podcast. It was supposed to be really quick. Apparently not. Apparently I'm venting and getting some stuff off my chest. But anyway, I was talking about, so I was thinking, well, writing a review, I'm not going to make any money about that. I'm thinking, well, apparently this little Amazon bullshit thing is not going to get me any money. And at the time, it's like, well, I need to find a way to make money to pay off my credit cards, Because kind of the way this worked is they're like, hey, we're going to sign you up for a bunch of credit cards with a really good like zero credit rate for like the first year. So it's like you've got a whole year to not pay any interest on this, $25,000 you paid us, and plus anything else you use for your business. So I'm sitting there watching the months tick by and think, well, crap, I'm going to start accumulating interest here in a couple of months. I need a way to start paying this off, and apparently the Amazon thing's not going to work. How do I make money, And well, it's like, well, writing a review isn't going to make me any money, And so I was thinking, well, what else can I do? Well, I could write a book. I could tell like everybody my story. I can like go write a book about my whole experience. Wouldn't that be cool? And then I had the even better idea. I could write a book, and then I could make like a business course. Which I could like actually like. Like say, okay, here's my book, that you bought in the bookstore or whatever. Come, you buy my book, and then you can find the little link in my book. Oh my God, there's a whole business course I can go buy. Cool, let's go buy, Chris Brooks' business course, of all the crap that he learned from this company and all the stuff he had to figure out himself, So I was thinking, I'll do that. And actually, I'd still like to do that. I'd like to write a book, and I'd like to write a business course. I think that'd be kind of cool. It'd be cool to take like these little podcasts or something and turn them into a course or something. But anyway, a couple days ago, somebody was, saying to me like, hey, you should do a podcast. And I was like, I could totally do a podcast for this thing. Like, like in case you guys haven't noticed, I've got a really deep voice. Like I've actually got a pretty good voice. And I'm not saying that to brag. I've had people telling me for years and years and years that I should be on radio or I should, do audiobooks or whatever, But anyway, somebody was saying that the other day. They're like, oh my God, you should totally do a podcast. And I was thinking, oh, that's funny. And then I started thinking about it. It's like, oh my God, I should totally do a freaking podcast for this bullshit I'm going through right now. Like, it's like, because then first I can tell my story. And hopefully other people will see that and be like, next time they're on Facebook and they see some little ad for the 3-day workshop. I still see those, by the way, for other companies. There's like, I don't know, I've seen one for like some real estate thing. There are other things for like SEO or whatever. I still see these little ads for these little 3-day workshops. Anyway, now I know they're bullshit. Some of them may be really good. I have no idea. I know damn certain I would not buy another one. I would not go to another one with my credit card, at least. Maybe I'd go just for a couple free, conceptual lessons, or maybe if I went to the first one and like it was like, oh yeah, these guys are kind of cool. I might pay $500 for a little 3-day workshop. I would not go into anybody else's program, because all this information you need is free. You can find this stuff with Google. You can find it by asking people. There are a lot of other business courses out there. Maybe I'll tell you about some of the ones I've found that are really good, actually, at some point here in the future. But all this information you need to actually like make your business go is not. It's just not worth $25,000. And it's not because it's not good information. It's because you can get all this information you need very, very cheaply. You don't have to pay $25,000 for it, So let that be your lesson number 2. Do not pay anybody a lot of money for this information, because you can get it for free. Maybe there are some things where, like really, really high level, really, really specific things, yeah, you might need to fork over a bit of money to learn. But for something as simple as we're going to teach you how to do Amazon, or we're going to teach you, this, that, the other, we're going to teach you how to, 10 times your business, you do not need to pay $10,000 or $25,000 or $50,000 or whatever. It's bullshit. It's total bullshit. You can get it for free. I'm about to give it to you for free over the course of this podcast thing, like, hey, all you got to do is listen, like, I mean, help. Maybe what I'll do is I'll do like a Patreon or something for this. That'd be kind of cool. And then you can get it for like $1 a podcast or something. And honestly, I wouldn't even charge you for it. It would just be like something like, hey, if you're interested and you like what I'm doing, please, throw me $1 a podcast or something. That'd be kind of cool. But anyway, you're about to get this for free. But anyway, the thing that was my big realization with all this. I took a class this last semester. There's a class they offer at my university for engineers called High Tech Entrepreneuring, which was I signed up because I was thinking, oh yeah, this might be cool. I'm interested in doing entrepreneuring, not engineering anyway. So let's take this. It was basically a class on how to start up a high tech business as an entrepreneur. Or entrepreneur. Like you've got this cool technology. How do you turn it into a company? And I learned a lot of really good business lessons in there about how to structure your company and how to structure your startup in a way that you're not going to blow through your cash, you're not going to waste a bunch of time doing stuff you don't need to do, and it completely just blows holes in some of this fast, like fast startup things that some of these business gurus or think people are trying to teach you. Is it possible to, like start a company and go from 0 to 1 million really quickly? Sure. There are people who have done it. I'm not going to pretend that there probably aren't people out there who make it to work, who make it work. But the big realization I had while I was learning like actual real business lessons in this class that I took at the university is that most of that stuff is crap. The whole startup on steroids, you can start up some little thing and just hack your way through it, totally, do tips and tricks to get this $1 million business, right away. It's bullshit. It's absolute horseshit. Again, for some people it might work. For most people, it's not. Like, you ever been to one of those little MLM things, and they talk about, oh yeah, this person made so much money working for our little MLM pyramid scheme thing, and it's true. There are people who make money doing that, but your chances of being that person are very, very small. Like maybe, that's how these MLM things work. They bring in a bunch of people and maybe one of them, like maybe, 1 in 50 people actually ends up making some money off of it. But most people, they sell to their friends, they sell to their relatives, and then they're done. The company makes money off of them selling to their friends and relatives. It's not, they're not looking for, a business prospect. They're looking for a market that they can use you to sell to in your little neighborhood or something. But that's how these, I call them a startup on steroids scam. Totally a word I made up. I don't know. But yeah, these people who promise you, if you come to my thing, if you buy my course, if you do this, you will totally, you'll totally jack your business up. In 6 months, you'll be making $1 million. It's bullshit. Side note on that, I will not say that all business courses out there, or even some of like the other, like all those little online courses you can get for everything. And I'm not talking about Udemy or stuff like that. I'm talking about things where, you get into somebody's website and they've got the sales letter there saying, oh yeah, if you buy my product, you can, buy my course and you can, start a business or you can lose weight or whatever. I'm not going to say those are crap. I love those things. I've been trawling like sales letters like that for like the last 10 years. I started doing that when I was like a sophomore in high school. I love those kinds of things. I buy them all the freaking time. And a lot of them are really, really good, But that's the thing. You have to realize that just because they have good information does not mean they're going to take you from being 0 to $1 million in 3 months or whatever, Hopefully, and like some of them are really good, Some of them are crap, some of them are good, whatever, But yeah, some of these little business courses, buy them if you want. It's just, again, think about the investment. Is it worth to buy something for $150 that you think might, have a nugget of information that might help you for your business? Yeah, go for it. And hell, fucking, sorry, again, I'm trying not to cuss too much, but you got to remember, again, I normally cuss like a sailor, so this is me actually doing pretty good with my cursing here. But anyway, yeah, buy it. If you can spend $150 and get one good little tip that might actually really make a difference in your business, go for it. Pay for it with your company credit card and use it as a tax write-off. Cool. But paying something like $25,000 or $10,000 or even $5,000 until you have some proof that there's actually something there, you're getting screwed over. You are getting scammed. And that was my big epiphany. It's like all this stuff out there that people, promise they're going to teach you is it's no replacement for for doing it the old-fashioned way. And I know we all like to be lazy. We're all like, oh my god, I want to make money tomorrow. I don't want to have to work for 10 years. It doesn't work like that. And I'm not saying it's going to take you 10 years before you make money. I'm just saying that you need to get that idea out of your head. The whole I'm going to buy this thing and they're going to teach me how to turn my business into a success overnight. It doesn't work like that. They promise you the moon, and it just doesn't happen. And what's more, again, I think they're hurting people that way. People who could be an amazing entrepreneur someday, but get sucked into one of those things and get totally beat up and decide, oh no, I'm never doing that again. And so they go and get a corporate job, and we miss out on the next Oracle or the next Google or the next, I don't know, the next. I work for this company here. I work for an engineering firm right now as an intern that makes about 30. I don't know, $30 million in revenue a year, I think, or something like that. But not exactly a Google by any means, but they're still quite a nice little economic force in the city. Like they employ a lot of people, and locally owned. Somebody had to start. Well, they were locally owned until about a year ago, but somebody had to start that up. So yeah, but what if that person had gone through one of these scams, years ago and not actually started this company up? That completely deprives society of this cool company that's running. But that this is what I want to share with you. I want to share with you all this stuff about all the stuff I learned that you don't need to pay to learn. Again, most of the stuff I learned in my last year, and believe me, I've learned a lot. I've had a very steep learning curve, but I've learned a ton of stuff. And again, like I had my little list here. I'd like literally like in the first hour, I sat down and was coming up with ideas. I wrote like I think I counted. I had like 59 topics I could talk about. And then like the next couple days, I was going through my phone and adding like another one. I've got a whole list in here now of other stuff I can teach too. And tell you about. So that's what this podcast is going to be. It's not going to be me railing on this thing that scammed me over, and again, little disclosure here. I am not accusing them of scamming me. Just like for any legal thing, I'm not saying that this company specifically scammed me knowingly, and was trying to fuck me over. I think they scammed me. Whether they think they scammed me or not, I can't say. And I'm not going to accuse them for any legal purposes of scamming me. I'm just saying that they provided me with a service that was ridiculously, in my opinion, overpriced, and then completely were not able to follow up with anything worthwhile. To me, that's a scam. Again, I have no idea what the law would be for that. I'm not accusing them. I'm not trying to sue them or anything right now. But just a little disclaimer: I'm not accusing anybody of anybody here, or anybody of anything here. It's just I feel like I got major scammed over, and I feel like a lot of people are getting scammed over. And I know other people I've talked to who went through this thing would call it a scam. Technically, is it a scam? I don't know. I would call it a scam. Other people would, but I'm not going to accuse them of anything. Little legal red tape there, whatever. And again, hopefully, maybe someday I can actually tell you, what this company's name is. This big company X. That'd be really cool. Maybe on maybe when we get to like the 50th podcast or the 100th podcast or something, that'll be like the big reveal, But, again, I got to talk to a lawyer before I do anything like that.